started it?
Yeah. Yo, what's that volume meter look like?
Go again.
Mic check. Mic check. What's good?
You're good. You're not. It's not over peaking, or it's not like.
All right, cool.
You're not gonna be blown out. I got to talk for mine because like.
I mean, this one's pretty stereo, so it should pick up your voice too.
I mean, that'd be great if we could just hit one audio.
No, just one
It'd be
audio.
great if we could hit one audio, but I mean, yeah, you never know. So.
Never know. Cool.
How was the trip, honestly?
Oh, the trip.
How was it? Like just like, not the like, because we've had conversation before this. Like, not the like, oh, it was cool. Like, how was the trip? Like from like your actual view, because you know, when your parents ask, it's like. How was the trip? You be like, oh, it was cool. I had a nice time. Yeah. You know, it was pretty okay. But that's not how the trip really was. It's just like you don't want nobody to worry. You don't want nobody to talk about nothing. Like you were. How long were you there first?
I was in Madagascar for 30 days, bro. Like flew out October 23rd. I got back November 23rd. And just like honestly, like overall, the trip was really monumental in terms of it's like very enlightening. I did hit a lot.
Yeah. That's all I'm gonna say.
I think we should still be good.
You're trying to kick over the lawnmower. I mean, hey, look, it might take a second take.
A second.
We'll see.
But yeah, back to it. The trip was really like monumental in terms of just like enlightening and how I could experience another culture and experience other people and how they live. To Madagascar, I guess in like the world rating or whatnot, it's like the 4th poorest country in the world. And I could definitely see that the second I got there. Like I could smell it in the air quality. I could see it on the streets with no like no real sewer systems. Like there's trash in the streets. There's like fecal matter in the streets. There are people walking around with no shoes. Like it's a luxury to wash your hands.
That's crazy. I
don't know, just seeing that firsthand, like it's something to hear about it, like through like a secondary source, to see it on TV as it's like what's the word I'm looking for? Trip.
You don't know?
I do know the word.
No. Not like you don't know. Just like it's not coming to you.
It's not coming to me right now. But I don't know. It's like that amplifies other people's trauma to like get a reaction. And so it wasn't that. I didn't see it through another lens. I was seeing it through my own eyes. And so to be able to see that, and in spite of that, still see like alive-hearted people, like people that didn't like care that they didn't have like shoes, or didn't care that they could only eat like what they made on like the streets, or just like they were happy that they were together as a family. They were happy that they had a place to stay. No, it didn't look like the houses that we have over here in the States. Like even our public housing, like our Section 8 housing, like that's better than like a lot of the housing over there, honestly. Like, because one, we have running water, we have electricity. Like, these are things that we don't have to think about because they're kind of normalized. So,
I'm gonna try to keep the focus on you, because I was gonna break off into a tangent, but we're not gonna do that. So like street food, was it good, bad?
Street food was good. It took a little courage for me to try the street food, honestly, because I mean, we on the street and you just like you see them preparing it, and it's like, oh yeah, they got the sauce, like they got the recipe, it looks great. At the same time, it's just like hundreds of flies just like all around. And so at first I'm like, normal me was like not normal me, but like I guess a me that was cautioned by so many other people in their prior, maybe not even their prior experiences, just their worries and their thoughts and their preconceived notions about, I guess, third world countries or whatnot. They're like, don't try the street food, don't try anything on the street. I'm like, you know what? It's not beneath me that like this is a way of living for people. Why can't it be a way of living for me? Why can't I at least try it and see what happens? You know what I'm saying? So I did try it. Like I put mind over matter. I saw flies and I said, all right, I see flies, but I still see the food, and I'm gonna eat this food. And tried the food. Food was great. Yeah, I paid the price. Like my stomach.
I was gonna say, he started smiling like, it turned my joint. It turned it, but it was it was fire though at first. Like, going down, he was there. A little like 15, 20 minutes later.
Like great flavor, just like it's really cool because even though Madagascar, it's interesting because Madagascar doesn't have that many endemic, just like I guess fruits or just like other like food species in terms of plants. Like a lot of stuff is just brought in, but they use a lot of the things that are brought in, and even some of the endemic species to like make some great stuff. So like rice is a staple there. Rice is like with almost every meal. Like but I don't know, it's just like really dope. And in terms of like street food, it still had a lot of, I guess, French impact since like it's Slick like still a French colony, just without the word colony behind it. But like, you know, you had the bread, you had like your butter for like meals and things like that, your jams, and just like a light breakfast. But then like later throughout the day, it was like more complex and more meats and stuff like that in the meals.
Okay. Cause I was just gonna ask, cause it being a third world country, I always hear like because of how hygiene is, it's like meat is like it's top tier because it's hard to like keep all that stuff. It's hard to keep all that stuff. It's easier to keep everything like if it's processed or if it's like things with like a long shelf life are easier to maintain because in places where the hygiene is worse, it's easier to like I'll keep rice because rice has long shelving and it's a carb and it's filling, like it can expand and it can go and be spread out a lot easier than like one cow being broken down. You can't make more than what's there. Rice can be expanded and then you mix it with sauces and this and then this and then this and you can come up with something a little different. Touched on that a little bit. In terms of the people, anybody come across anybody that was, I guess, because it's always gems and it's diamonds in the rough. So you come across anybody that, because I know I've gone places and it's like, given the situation, you'll be like, okay, they don't have access to this, but I've come across people that despite what they have access to, they've not necessarily smarter than me, but just like they have their view or their perception of where they are is like a whole lot different than what my personal view. You come across anybody like that? Or
I get what you're saying. Yeah. It was cool. So like actually on like the last long, I guess, van trip that I had, it was from Ankifi to Majunga. And so this was actually after I got off the boat from Nosy Bay, went to Ankifi to Ambanja. Then actually, so the van ride was it was a 17-hour van ride from Ambanja to Majunga.
God.
And so yes, that was taxing. But so this one guy that I met, it was interesting because he like, I got off the van and he would just hung around me. I didn't know who he was, but he was just like asking me questions. Did I need anything? I was like, nah, bro. Because at first, like, I was a little apprehensive because I'm like, I don't know why you like pressing me like this because I don't know who you are. I wasn't. Nobody told me that you was gonna be here to like meet me and just like, stick around with me. And so I was like kind of on edge. But at the end of the day, I was like, you know what? We won't gonna be in the 17-hour van ride. Why not have a conversation? Why not try to break down that barrier and at least just like be nice, be kind, have a conversation. And it was cool. Turns out he was a student at a university in Majunga studying like computers and electronics and like learning all this stuff. He knew how to build solar panels and all this stuff. And I don't know, it was really good. Lawnmower, bro, going hard.
It was getting heavier.
Are they coming closer?
No, it was worse. Like from here, I can't see it.
Okay, I'm gonna keep talking. Hopefully,
I was gonna say we might have to do it for the second take because bro, killing it right now.
Rolling right now.
Bro, killing it right now. You say he was he worked on computers. He went to the University of Majunga.
Yeah, he worked on computers and we had to do solar panels and like that. And it was actually one of his friends that we ended up meeting. So he was like, okay, I can be a tour guide. And I said, sure, why not? And so he took me like to a couple places around the town. We took like a tuk-tuk, it's like their taxi cab service or whatnot. And so we went to like this one spot. It was kind of like in the cut, and we got out. And then his friend met us there, and we walked, and it was like through this little like village or whatnot, and walked around. Literally, it was through the cut, and like we eventually got to like, I guess, the place that they were working on, and it was like this big concrete structure. It was like, it was a building, but it wasn't completed. It had like 4 floors in it, and it was him and like 5 other guys, and they were like, yo, we built this like with their hands. Like they were the ones who poured the concrete, and his specialty was like painting, so it was like detailed like precisely. I'm talking like outside, around them. Like, yo, like you don't have a ladder, like how did you get this done? Like, and I don't know, it's just seeing that that ability to be savvy without, I guess, a lot of the resources that we are afforded in, like, I guess, the country that we're in now. I don't know, that just really inspired me and just really instilled in me that once I come back and just like throughout my life every single day, I don't have any excuses not to like pursue my success or be the best me, because there are people who have fewer privileges and fewer resources that are still giving it 110%, and I have no reason not to do the same.
Is there any place like, so the word is, and I've not been to experience, but I hope to go in the very near future. The word is like, if you go to like Dubai, it's like in the touristy, in the high tourist traffic areas, it's real upscale. But then when you start to step away from that, you start to actually view, because you know they always show you like the brightest parts of it. Is there any place like that in Madagascar where it's like once you step out of this certain zone, it's a completely different world, or is it just all? I don't want to say it's all generally the same, because everybody has their own space and everybody has their own culture. I think I view it literally the same thing as moving from state to state. Like everybody does things a little differently. But is there any place like that where like you step outside and like you instantly know the difference?
I'd say it gets like that when you're transitioning from the urban area to the rural area, and that's not even like a long transition. It's quick. It's like the main city, the capital city, Antananarivo. Like it's. Like there are a lot of buildings, there are a lot of shanty towns like that. But like you go down the main route, it's the only route that goes from that town up to like along the northern coast and whatnot. The only route. And it goes from asphalt to gravel to dirt. And it's like dirt with like all these like holes, not potholes, like holes. That's a 30-hour drive right there. That's crazy. And so you can see a difference when it goes from urban to rural. But I'd say in terms of like, I don't know, in terms of poverty, it's not like a transient, because you can see that like consistently, but that didn't like bother me in terms of like, oh, like I shouldn't go here, I shouldn't go there. I felt like, you know, one, because I'm a male and I feel a little more comfortable, a little more safer just being able to walk around. I felt more comfortable just like going like anywhere. I wasn't gonna make a stupid decision and go somewhere nice, like, oh yeah, because I can do whatever. Like, no, that's stupid. But I was like, you know what, I'm here, like why not go see, or at least like take a glance, because I'm not going to be able to get that full experience, but at least see what everybody else is living like on like both sides. So it was dope to be able to see those comparisons.
I know you don't want to, but it's probably gonna have to be a part 2, because it's you got like 4 minutes left.
Oh, word? We gonna have to do part 2.
You got like 4 minutes left.
All right, it's all great. We can do a part 2.
And if you hit like, which is why when you first said the idea, I thought it was like it's not bad. It's just what's the time constraint? Because like if you go like, oh we're unlimited, then it's like, okay, at that point I can just ask as many questions as I want, and it can just be like it can be a dialogue instead of a monologue, or instead of it seeming more one way, but you're gonna cut it close. Like if I ask you something else, it's probably gonna spill over. You want to just?
No, we can keep going.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Okay. Actually, I really did still have like 4 questions. Well, first off, in terms of dirt, is it like the I don't know the actual term for it, but is it one of those things where it's like it's dirt all the way around no matter where you go, or is it one of those like a man-made path type of thing? Is it like man-made path all the way through
for the road?
Yeah, like is it enough traffic, or does it lead to somewhere major to where like it's enough traffic to where like it's man-made paths, or is it just like everywhere you go? Like if someone drops you off in the middle of the Sahara Desert, you wouldn't be able to be like, oh, like 15 people walk that way. Like you wouldn't be able to do that. Is it one of those, or is it just?
No, it's like the main road is man-made, yeah, okay. But it hasn't been serviced or like redone in like years. So it's worn down, it's falling apart, things like that. But like I said, there's only that one main road. So if you get dropped off on the main road, like everybody's coming down that road from a city from the north to go down to the south, or from the south to go up to the north. So you figure out which way you need to go, and like, but all along that road and all the other roads that kind of branch off going to other cities or towns, there are villages set up. Like you'll go maybe like 20 kilometers and you'll see like a whole bunch of like thatched or like mud and stick houses, and then you go like another 10 kilometers and it'll be another village, and then like another 15 kilometers then it'll be like a larger village with a gas station, and then it like repeats, because like about 70%, and these are just stats that I read, you know, but about 70% of the population lives in rural places. So that's where I saw a lot of people. I was like, oh, like we're in the desert, but you're still seeing like kids just like walking up and down the street, like with their cows and stuff like that, or like people on bikes and machetes just like going to handle business.
I can't leave you on the phone because it's 12:59 and you gotta. Unless you just want to keep going.
But we can pause it now because I feel like the cameras will like shut down after a certain amount of time. At least like mine does after like 20 minutes. It stops recording video.
I was gonna say mine on the 30.
Okay, so we can pause it now and pick back up.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was gonna say it's about 1 o'clock anyway. I didn't want to be the one to like.
I did too.
Okay. I really do hope old boy ain't messing up, because
I hope not either, because it's been a pretty cool conversation.
The lawnmower is heavy.
Homie.
Nah, I kind of want him to dial back a little bit, because I got like, because like those are like the real I guess for me they're surface questions, because I got a lot of questions I don't know if you're gonna be able to answer it. It's not to grill you, but it's just like,
yes,
because I ain't been. I want to.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, and then I think since he's starting to cool down, we can kind of get into the heavier.
Big, little deeper.
Yeah. So with it being the way that it is with it being the way that it is in terms of there being, I guess, what we would view as poverty, they're happy. So that may not be their perception, but with it being poverty and like downward infrastructure, is education taking it? Actually, it's two questions. First, is education taking a hit? Is education taking a hit as well? And also, is it a dial back on like crime? So I guess crime would be the word, but just like the experiences that you come across, because it's like if no one has it, to me, it would seem as though like if no one has anything, what is there to take, or is it just like is it a free for all some days? What is?
So in terms of answering your first question, like one, this is only from my observational experience, because I can only talk about what I've seen, not what I've experienced, because I haven't like gone through the educational system. But educational system is taking like a very big hit, because you have to pay for kids to go to school, and if the parents can't pay for their kids to go to school, if they can't pay for the uniforms, they can't pay for their books, and the kids aren't going to school. I'm talking about like their kids 2-3 years old, just like on the street, like just walking around like asking for money, or just living their day out because they can't go to school. And like, you know, I'll be walking down the streets and I see like a group of kids with the same uniforms going to the school that's around the corner, and then in the opposite direction you see like the same group of kids, or a different group of kids, I mean, like walking the opposite way, just like with their clothes that they have, the clothes they have on their back, just like seeing what they can get into for the day. And so that's really interesting to think about, you know, how we have the public school system here, and yeah, it's supposed to be free, but at the end of the day, you end up paying for the school that you're getting. But like at the end of the day, like pretty much almost any kid that wants to enroll in public schooling can go to public schooling, right? Okay. But there, it's like you have to pay, and if you can't pay, your kids can't go to school. In terms of your second question about crime, I'd say that just from what I saw, it seems like there was a greater sense of community, and so there was not like a lot of like self-inflicted, and by self-inflicted I mean like, okay, we're the community, we're not going to hurt ourselves, we're not going to kill ourselves, or that self-inflicted crime, because as you said, like, you know, not everybody has a lot, so they rely on one another to make sure that they can all succeed as a collective. But at the same time, you do get people who see people with other things, like that happens everywhere. All right, you have something, I'm lacking, you finna be like licky, like I'm finna get it because you have what I need, and I want to continue to live, I want to continue to thrive. It happens a lot with tourists. Tourists get preyed upon because, you know, maybe they aren't taking the same precautions as far as like safety or whatnot, or it just might be their unlucky day. Like honestly, it just might be their unlucky day. They get caught up and like they get got. So that does happen. I was actually warned by this one kid who, like, I was like blessed to meet. Like, I was taking photos of this one building, and I was using my film camera, and he walked up to me, asked me for some money, and I didn't want to just give him money right then and there. So I was thinking for a little bit. I paused, and then I asked him if he could take a picture of me, and so he did. And so I showed him how to use the camera, whatnot. And then I asked if he wanted a picture. He said, yeah. And so we just like started chopping it up. And this is all in French because they speak French in Malagasy over there. So my brain is hurting. But we started talking and walking around. Gave me like a 30, 45-minute tour like the block that we was on.
Yeah.
And so it was cool. Like after that conversation, like I was like, all right, cool. I got a little cash. I gave it to him. And granted, that's probably enough for him to eat for like 2 weeks, something like that, bro.
That's crazy.
So yeah, I did that. And he was just like, yeah, don't walk down this street and at night because people won't hesitate to rob you, won't hesitate to kill you. Watch out for the little kids if they run up to you or like bump up to you because they'll like distract you and someone just like take everything out your pockets and run. He's like, I don't do that anymore because I'm 12. And I'm like, 12? And he's like, so it's really interesting how kids have to grow up a lot quicker there. So that's in terms of like education and like crime, like they're still learning because there's always going to be that traditional knowledge that's passed on through families, but it's in a different way.
Okay. I mean, more to the crime aspect. I figured that because like for me, or in personal opinion or in personal experience, it's like if it's a community, if it's oh, that's John down the street. I know if you give me everything you got. What, dude? Come on, bro. I was at your house yesterday. You know we both broke. Like, chill out. Like that type of time. Do you know the education process, or is it just like?
I do not. I've heard that it's similar to, I guess, like it's definitely taking on like that French aspect of just like schooling. So you got like the primary school and the secondary school, and then college, which is the high school or whatnot, and then after that you go to university if you're able to. So yeah.
Once you do you think that those that are able to go, do you think once they go they're moving back to the community, or they're more like spreading out and trying to get away? It's not necessarily trying to get away, but trying to move on,
do other things. I feel like it's interesting because even the guy that I met, his ambition, like he said, once I really learn how like the ins and out of these computers and like solar panels and like electricity and all this stuff, like I want to like travel the world so I can make sure other people have access to like I guess just like basic needs, like not basic needs because
things that we take for granted.
Yeah, things that we take for granted, and that was one of his ambitions. But that's still hard, even with a university degree, because the exchange rate for Malagasy currency to like going anywhere else is very poor. Like
I was gonna say
like people seldom travel outside the country at all because they don't have the money. It's so expensive. Like when you think about, all right, so average, because like the average salary is about 500,000 Ariari, and this is not average salary as far as like about 50% of the people make this, like, because that's definitely not the case. I'd say so many more people make much less than that. The average salary is about 500,000 Ariari, right? A good phone.
Wait. What's the? Do you know what the exchange rate on that is roughly?
So from US dollars, $1 is 3,700 Ariari. Yeah.
What?
So, okay. So back to my point.
Even if you, whoa.
Yeah. So the average like monthly like income is about 500,000 Ariari. This for somebody with a decent like consistent job. A good phone costs 200,000 Ariari.
That's almost half your.
That's almost half of like what you make in that month.
Yeah.
So think about how much else you got to put towards your food, transportation, like living, like cost of living. It's
Do they have a? I don't want to say. Is there jail or prison? Or is there I guess governmental punishment, or is it just?
There is. I didn't find out or learn much about the prison system. The closest I got was when we was in Majunga, and then the guy that I was with, he was like, over there's like where it's like one of the prisons or whatnot. It was like kind of like across this wide river mouth.
I thought you were going to say the closest I got was we were walking down the street and then some guy tried me and we had to. You went to jail in a different country.
Oh, that would have been. I don't think I would have made it back home. That was the case, because like it's even interesting because I don't know, like even driving along the road, there are like police stops, and the police see who's in the van. And then people who are driving the van have to pay the police, and I'm not even sure how that really works. But
I was gonna ask if it if it was a bribing system that was leading that, but you said you don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, okay. It's institute. You can be taken to jail or to prison. What else? I guess the next question would be like, what else are they missing? Do they have like libraries? Are there? I don't know. I don't want to insult people, but do they have? Are there? I guess to give it a general scope, what are more things that we just like, we're like, because like I don't know anybody that goes to the library anymore because we have internet access at this point. So most people don't go to the library.
I still go to the library, so you know me.
But low key though. You're not like
I'm going to the library today.
Yeah, like you're not like what you doing today? Oh, I'm gonna be at the library all day. I gotta get a paper done. Mm-hmm. Nah, for you it's like, okay, I'm gonna use it for this. I'm gonna use it for this source of knowledge, this source of knowledge, this source of knowledge. Mm-hmm. But like things at this point are like in America anyway are at your fingertips. It's one click. It's one send. Is there internet over there?
Yeah, there's internet. And how that works is like you have to. Like you have your phone and you have to like recharge like the cell service. And so there are like two main telecommunication companies. It's like Blue Light, something like that, Blue something, and then Telma. And so Telma is like French opera, and then Orange actually Telma it's under Orange, I believe. Yes, because Orange is like for French, it's French operated, but Telma is like telecommunications, MA for Madagascar. And so how it works is like you have to spend money, like buy minutes to recharge, and you can determine if you want to put those points or like those points towards like texting or calling or internet service. And so you have to decide, and it's like you have to continuously buy it. It's not like, oh, I can get a plan, have it for the whole month, then pay again.
That's actually really, really interesting.
For better or for worse. Because at the same time you're like, oh, if you run out of your 2,000 minutes or whatnot, and like, yeah, like that's it. So
that's interesting. Our phones are they can't. I guess technically they couldn't be, but our phones. Not. I don't want to say they're as common, but if I were to take like averages and then convert them, is it the same? Is it the same over there as it is over here? Are they as far along, or can you see them being as far along in, I don't know, the next decade, 2 decades, or
in terms of like the economic improvement?
Not just that, but the things that we do over here that happen almost subconsciously. Like kids nowadays need phones to operate. They don't really read maps. They don't know how to. Most don't know how to do any of those things, or a lot don't know how to do any of those things. Do you see them headed in the same direction, or do you? Because as you continue to grow, the community begins to branch out. People begin to go their separate directions. It's not to say that school will become cheaper, but it will become more affordable. Do you see them headed in that direction?
Within like the next decade, no, because it's still like a very heavily agrarian-oriented society, a very heavily just like, oh, like what's in our proximity, that's all that we need. Like there's no reason to like why am I trying to text somebody from China? Like, no, and at the end of and at the same time, they don't really like China like that, because China has come in and like really depleted a lot of their fishing industry, because Madagascar was and still is, but a lot of its resources are depleted, but was like a country with just like a lot of resources, because it has like a very, very big economic fishing zone. I forgot the acronym for that, but it has a very big fishing zone, and a lot of that is being, like I said, depleted from like foreign interests who are coming in, buying out companies, or just like coming in illegally and not even saying, oh, we're here. Like they'll put up Madagascar flags, but they're a boat from China or a boat from like another country, and just like fish, get what they got and go. So I don't see that like transition in terms of just like, I guess, that internet minded, like that quick gratification happening like that drastically as it has happened here. Because I feel like at the end of the day there is still like a root connection to like that interaction. So yeah.
Are they losing? Do you? You said you can't see them getting there. Do you think when they get there they're going to begin to do what we've kind of what most countries tend to do, which is lose that sense of culture, or like, well, do they have the culture of their own first? Do they have their own that stands apart from those that have those that have either, I don't want to say colonized, but those that they've come into contact with?
Those that colonized?
I don't want to say that.
Why not? That's the truth.
Because when you think colonized, you think like bondage, enslavement.
That's the truth.
But you think the regular. You think what actually happens. Do you think that as they because you don't no one you can kind of have a general idea of the trajectory of the place or a trajectory of an object, an item, whatever the case is, but you don't really know. So, and you got somebody like Akon and what he's doing, where he's literally I don't know how many years it's taken him to this point, but he's come up with his own currency. He's come up with his own. He's where his origin. He's changing literally he's changing into a modern day Wakanda almost. If it's not there now, I've not gone and I've not experienced, but if it's not there now, he's turning into a modern day Wakanda. And I don't think that they've lost their culture yet, but I can say I feel as though if he steps away, if he were to take that space and to step away, that they would begin to kind of lose that sense of they begin to lose that sense of where they were prior to, as generations continue. Because same thing with what happens with people. I mean, America's obviously not a good example because it's a blend of cultures that were brought here either forcibly or some under their own means, but most more than likely forcibly. Do you think that in those tight knit communities, that as they begin to progress, as they begin to grow, as their economy begins to take an upward trajectory, that they're going to lose that sense of culture? Just from what you've seen.
From what I've seen, I can't really tell. Because I mean, there is like an interest and desire for people to have more accessibility to a lot of more technology and just like infrastructure and just like amenities. Yeah, for sure. At the same time, there are still so many things that still ground people and just like being able to like remain connected with each other as individuals. Like like they're playing soccer in the streets. They're doing that. They're fishing. Like they're playing pétanque. They're like just sitting around. What
is pétanque?
Pétanque is a game. It's like, I think, a French origin game. A game of French origin. That you throw like the petit couchon, like the small ball, like a 10 by 20 10 by 20 field. It's like sand, and so you throw the small ball, and then you have like these heavy lead balls, and it's the goal to get as close to the ball as possible. And so I learned how to play that just because like I didn't want to hang out with like all the French vacationers who were there at the kite surfing lodge. I wanted to hang out with the Malagasy people who were working at the lodge and see how they were living, and see what they was up to, and what was good, what was not good. And like by doing that, I learned a new game. I made some new friends, and I don't know, like I said, there's still a lot of things that ground them as individuals with one another. So I feel like even if they do get those resources, those amenities, like there'll still be things that keep them.
Do those places? I mean, not just in the economic way that you stated earlier, but just like in general. Is it like neighboring countries, neighboring areas? Are they still heavily coming in and taking and negatively affecting the economy, or is it just? Is it at this point, I guess, from an outside view, you would say that the people themselves need help, or could you say that due to outside forces we can kind of make the argument, or we can head into the direction of the argument that outside cultures and outside forces are the reason why we're not as successful as we need to be?
I'd say it's the exploitative nature of outside countries, like their economic interest which seeks to exploit the people that live there because they know they can pay them a little bit of money and get what they need and sell it at a premium. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'd say it's that exploitative nature. Like Madagascar and just like the people of Madagascar could definitely have like, I guess, a more, I can't even say a more, like a richer lifestyle, because their lifestyle is rich in culture and heritage and natural resources, and family is rich in that way. Just not in money. Like, that's just something tangible. That's something that can be used as a tool for manipulation. I'd say if there was like more of an interest in making sure there was equity and just like a sustainable nature and sustainable standard of living for everybody, like granted that may not be realistic, but if there was like an effort to create that presence in Madagascar, then it would be a lot more, from my eyes, it would be a lot more, I guess, just like well-rounded in terms of education, policy, public policy, public health, things like that.
Do they have? Is there a class? Is there a class? Like, are there classes, or is it like a caste system, so to speak? I guess maybe.
So I've been told it's like a caste system. I didn't really experience that, even though yes, I am of like a darker complexion, darker skin. It was like people, like the Malagasy people, they saw me. They're like, "We know you black, but we don't know where you from." So I don't know. I didn't really experience like that tier of like, I guess, where I was supposed to be in terms of that caste or whatnot. So I was told that that existed. I didn't really see that, but there is interesting, like, there's a caste system in terms of like, I guess, the people who immigrate in, who come from like countries of like more money, like the people who are coming from Italy, the people who are coming from France, the people who are coming from Poland. Like, yeah, they got money. They're coming in. These white people, they're coming in, buying up land and making resorts and stuff like that. So there is a caste in terms of, I guess, just like ethnicity. But I couldn't really see like a big differentiating factor between, I guess, just like skin color and like just like well-being or standard of living for like the Malagasy people. Because like I said, it's still just like, there's still a lot of poverty, and everybody kind of experiences that hit.
Okay. So yeah. Was it any like low key? Was it any like low key moments where like if I walk into a store somewhere, it's like deep